This is a video tutorial for CP6e types of radiation. Now, the first thing I'd like to go through is this key term. Now, radioactive materials are radioactive materials that emit what's called ionizing radiation. This is things like radium, uranium, plutonium, all of these things that you might have heard of in the news when they're talking about nuclear power stations or nuclear weapons. Now, let's think ionizing radiation, ionizing radiation. This is something we're going to look at today about what this term actually means. What does it mean to be ionizing? Now, there are three types of radiation that you need to know of. You need to know properties of each. You need to be able to give their mass, their charge, how ionizing they are, their ionizing power, and their penetrating ability. Now, before I talk about what the three types of radiation are, I want to look at what each of these terms actually mean, as it will help us to give us a better understanding of the three types of radiation. So the first one I want to look at is mass. Mass is pretty straightforward. You should know what mass means already, but mass is a measure of how much stuff an object is made up of. I've got an object here made up of a lot of stuff, a lot of material, has high mass, and the object over here, the smaller object, made up of lower mass. Okay, so higher mass object and a low mass object. The second property is charge. Now, when we're talking about charge, we're talking about electric charge. And it's a physical property of matter that causes it to experience a force when placed in an electromagnetic field. So if you put it in an area where there's electric fields, these objects are going to want to move. Now, objects with charges will also apply a force to other objects with charges. So hopefully you recognize something like this. So if you have a positive and a negative, they'll attract each other. Two positives or two negatives will repel each other. And the higher the charge, the larger this force. So if you doubled at each of these masses, then you double the force between them. The third property is this property of ionizing. Now, you should already know the definition of an ion, but if you don't, an ion is formed when an atom loses or gains an electron. So we have an atom here. At the moment, there are 2 protons and 2 electrons. So this atom has an overall charge of nothing, or 0. But if it was to lose or gain an electron, suddenly it would gain a charge. It would have more or less negative charges than positive, and it would have an overall charge. Now, nuclear radiation knocks electrons from atoms, turning them into ions. And radiation that does this easier is known as more ionizing. So once again, if we have this atom here, and we have some radiation coming through, it's going to knock an electron off, and suddenly now we have 2 protons and 1 electron, and we say this is now charged with a charge of positive 1. Now, penetrating ability is a measure of how good the type of radiation is at passing through a material without stopping or being absorbed. So we have 2 types of radiation here, yellow and green. If the yellow one tries to pass through this barrier, it's just stopped or is absorbed. Its energy goes into the material. The green radiation, however, is able to pass straight through. So we say that the green radiation has a high penetrating ability and the yellow one had a low penetrating ability. So we've looked at the 4 properties. Now let's have a look at what these 3 types of radiation are. We've got alpha, beta, and gamma. Now, alpha particles contain 2 protons and 2 neutrons. That's just the same as a helium nucleus. A helium nucleus is made up of 2 protons, 2 neutrons, and it's the same as an alpha particle. They have a relative mass of 4, because it's 2 protons, 2 neutrons, each with a relative mass of 1, and they have no electrons. So the overall charge of this is going to be +2. Now, the symbol for an alpha particle is this here, this Greek alpha, or we can write it as a helium nucleus, as helium 2,4. 2 being the number of protons, the atomic number, and 4 being the number of protons and neutrons, the atomic mass. Beta particles are high energy, high speed electrons. So it's just an electron that's come from the nucleus with moving at a high speed with a high energy. Now, electrons that are beta particles, they come from the nuclei. If we go back to this here, This is an electron that's been knocked off from one of the electron shells, not come from the nucleus itself. So that's not a beta particle, that is just a free electron. But beta particles must come from the nucleus themselves. They have the same mass as the electron, 1 divided by 1835, and they have a charge of -1. And they can be written as this symbol here, beta symbol, or as an electron with -1 and 0 as the two numbers there. Finally, we have gamma rays. Gamma rays you should have already looked at in CP4. They are part of the electromagnetic spectrum. They're the highest part of the EM spectrum, which means they also have the highest energy. They travel at the speed of light, and they do not have an electric charge. They also have no mass. So they have no mass and no electric charge. So which is the most ionizing type of radiation then? So we said that ionizing means it can remove electrons from atoms. Now I want to imagine that atoms are like bowling pins. Ionizing them is the equivalent of knocking them over. So alpha particles we can think of as bowling balls. They're very heavy, they're very highly charged. So they find it very, very easy to knock the electrons off of the atoms. Beta particles, they're lighter and they have smaller charge. So they're like a golf ball going down, trying to knock over those pins. Now the massless, chargeless gamma rays, it's kind of like air passing off over the pins. Sometimes they will knock over some, but they're going to have high energy, and they might have to pass through a lot of these pins or these atoms to try and make them ionize. So alpha is most likely to ionize, and gamma is least likely to ionize, because gamma is heavy and highly charged, whereas gamma is massless and chargeless. Now this diagram here shows how penetrating alpha, beta and gamma are. Alpha, because it's highly ionizing, it loses its energy very, very quickly. It's going to bump into the atoms, knock the electrons off and lose its energy very, very quickly. So alpha particles will only travel a few centimeters in air, and they can be stopped by a thin sheet of paper or just by your skin. So if you had an alpha source near to your skin, the skin would stop it getting into your body. Beta particles, once again, they're in the middle. They're not as ionizing as alpha, but they're more ionizing than gamma, so they can pass through paper, but they're stopped by either a few meters of air or by about 3 millimeter thick aluminium. Now gamma, being the least ionizing, can travel a long way through materials before being stopped. So they'll travel a few kilometers in air, and they need thick lead or several meters of concrete to stop them. So it's very, very hard to stop a gamma source gamma getting out from where the source is. It requires a lot of shielding. Now there are two other types of nuclear radiation that you need to know about. First one is positrons. Now these are high energy, high speed particles, just like beta. They have the same mass as electrons, same as beta, but they have a charge of +1, whereas an electron or beta particle have a charge of -1. Now they can be written as this beta symbol with the little plus rather than the minus, or with the same symbol as the electron but with a positive charge here rather than a negative charge. Now the last type of radiation you need to know about is neutrons. So neutrons, something we also find in the nucleus, they can be emitted from an unstable nucleus, and as you already know, they have a relative mass of 1 and no electric charge. So here's a quick exam style question. Compare and contrast the emission of an electron during the ionization of an atom with the emission of an electron during beta minus decay. So pause the video now, try to write an answer, and then I'll pull up a mark scheme. Okay, so to answer this question, during ionization, the electron obviously comes from the electron shells rather than the nucleus. So an atom becomes ionized when it absorbs energy, as you should know from earlier in the topic. An electron from one of its orbits leaves the atom. So it's not coming from the nucleus, it's coming from one of the orbits. In beta minus decay, however, the electron is emitted from an unstable nucleus, and as we know from all nuclear radiation, this is a random process. Okay, so if you got these 4 points, that was 4 marks. The 2 key points, though, are the fact the electron during ionization comes from the orbits, and during beta decay, it comes from the nucleus itself. Okay, that's the end of this tutorial. Thank you very much.